Imagine living in a place where the price of a bag of cement can dictate whether your family has a roof over their heads, and the cost of a liter of milk feels like a luxury. This is the daily reality for over 2 million people in the Gaza Strip. It is a narrow piece of land just 41 kilometers long and about 10 kilometers wide, nestled on the Mediterranean coast. But Gaza is more than just a place on a map. It is a home and a community, a society that has been living under profound economic strain for nearly 2 decades. The story of Gaza's economy is not a simple one of supply and demand. It's about external controls and restrictions reshaping daily life. Buying groceries or filling a car with fuel has become a struggle. To understand life in Gaza today on September 26, 2025, we must understand a de-developed economy. This is not merely poverty, it is being actively pushed backward. Before the blockade, Gaza had a productive base. Factories, farms, a vibrant business sector, exports, furniture, textiles, carnations. People had jobs and economic possibility. The blockade dismantled that capacity. Gaza shifted from producer to dependent on aid and controlled imports. The struggle is visible everywhere. A father weighing vegetables and medicine for his child this week. University graduates cannot find work despite their education and ambition. High prices are an oppressive weight. A political situation has trapped a population in perpetual economic crisis. Self-sufficiency is almost impossible. This piece will explore the blockade's lasting impact on prices in Gaza. We'll examine what the blockade is and how it works. We'll look at the cost of food, fuel, medicine, and building materials, and compare these prices to neighboring regions. Through real-life examples, we'll see how families navigate. Understanding why things cost more reveals the blockade's human and economic toll, and how a resilient people continue to endure. The Gaza blockade is not a simple wall, not a single checkpoint. It is a complex and comprehensive system of control. Land closure, air closure, sea closure. Egypt controls Rafah. The blockade in its current severe form began in 2007, after Hamas took control of the Gaza Strip. Israel says it's for security, to stop weapons and dual-use materials, but restrictions went far beyond weapons. Basic foodstuffs, construction materials, and industrial inputs were controlled, isolating Gaza's economy from the world and the West Bank. A system dictates nearly everything in and out. Authorities kept lists of permitted and prohibited items, often arbitrary and changing. Cilantro, banned; jam, banned; chocolate, banned; hummus, allowed; instant coffee, allowed. The rationale was often unclear. Uncertainty gripped businesses and consumers alike. The movement of people is severely restricted for work, for education, for medical treatment, even for family visits. Isolation blocks the flow of commerce, ideas, and labor, strangling a young, educated population. The primary commercial crossing is Kerem Shalom, controlled by Israel, often a miles-long queue of trucks. All goods face rigorous inspection, creating bottlenecks, delays, and added costs. A naval closure restricts fishermen to a narrow shifting zone, crippling a once vital industry. Rafah's operation is unpredictable, opening and closing with little notice, leaving thousands stranded. The stated security purpose has had the effect of collective punishment. UN officials and human rights groups call the blockade a violation of international law. By restricting movement of goods and people, it created a profound humanitarian crisis and de-developed a functioning economy, keeping Gaza on the brink and dependent on aid. This context explains why a bag of cement or a canister of cooking gas costs so much more just a few kilometers away. The most immediate effect of the blockade is felt in the wallets of ordinary Gazans every time they go to the market. The prices of basic food items are significantly inflated. Consider flour for bread. Even with local mills, wheat import routes, transport through a single crossing, security checks, and paperwork add layers of expense. Oil, sugar, rice, powdered milk, these are essentials, not luxuries. Families cut back on quantity and quality, leading to food insecurity and malnutrition. Fuel is critical. In Gaza, life runs on generators. The main power plant has been damaged repeatedly. Daily power cuts can last 12 hours or more. Hospitals, schools, businesses, and homes rely on diesel. Its high cost burdens everyone. Bakers pass fuel costs onto the price of bread. Essential medicines are often scarce. Importing is slow and bureaucratic. Available items cost much more. Patients fear stockouts. People buy less effective alternatives, go without, pool resources, or go into debt for life-saving meds. Building materials are tightly restricted. Scarcity drives prices up. Families wait years for permits and supplies. Thousands remain displaced. To grasp the pressure, compare a basic shopping cart in Gaza City, Tel Aviv, and Cairo. In Gaza, a kilogram of beef might be $18 to $20, in Cairo, around half. Milk often reconstituted and costly. Next door, fresher and cheaper. A liter of diesel can be up to 50% more than in Israel. A ton of cement may exceed $300 to $400 in Gaza versus about $100 in Egypt. The Abu Ali family, a former construction worker unemployed for years as projects stall. His income around $300, a gas canister can take 7% of that. Before the blockade, he bought twice the food. Now, cheaper staples replace protein, meat is an occasional luxury, starkly different from life just beyond the fence. Why are goods so much more expensive in Gaza? The answer lies in layered costs and restrictions imposed by the blockade. Most goods arrive via Israeli ports, then by truck to Kerem Shalom. Longer, pricier routes than a direct Gaza seaport or airport would allow. At the crossing, fees for security scanning, handling, and logistics add up. Back-to-back transport means unload, inspect, and reload. Inefficient, labor-heavy, and riskier for fragile goods. Import quotas and bans create artificial scarcity, enabling premiums and black markets. This isn't a free market. Prices track restrictions, not competition. With factories starved of inputs and exports, local production withered, leaving consumers dependent on expensive imports. Families prioritize necessities, often cutting diet diversity. Bread, rice, lentils, while fruit, meat, and dairy become rare. Community solidarity is a lifeline, sharing gas and meals. Small shops extend credit, forming an informal safety net. Innovation out of necessity. Repair, repurpose, and grow. Rooftop and balcony gardens provide fresh food and dignity. Many turn to informal work or online freelancing to earn foreign currency, possible for a few, hampered by outages and slow, costly internet. The blockade has rewired the economy, holding daily life hostage. Its deepest impact is the price of everything: bread, medicine, fuel, and the cement to rebuild. This is not natural market movement. It is the outcome of a nearly two-decade policy of isolation and economic strangulation to this day. September 26, 2025. The price gaps are massive, crushing a population with rampant unemployment and low incomes. From transport and security fees to deliberate scarcity, Gazans pay more for less. Resilience is necessary, but not a substitute for jobs, freedom of movement, trade, and economic rights. For dignity and a viable future, the blockade that holds prices and lives hostage must end.